In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys my final thoughts on Chapter 2 Remix. If you guys happen to enjoy this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing, and using code WATSOG in the Fortnite item shop. Also remember, at 2,000 subscribers, I'm going to be ranking every single Fortnite skin, so make sure to subscribe. Let's get straight to the video. So Chapter 2 Remix is going to end tomorrow, and today I just thought I'd give my final thoughts about the season, because this season has been pretty controversial to say the least. To get started, gameplay this season was really freaking good, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's basically just Chapter 2 Season 2 with a little bit of Chapter 2 Season 3 mixed in. But that's all you need to make a good season, Especially when it's not that long, only a month. Just recycling the best season of all time, basically. And just making that the gameplay, basically. Really, really works, especially when it's this short, I also like how there's a lot of boss POIs. I know there was a lot in Chapter 2 Season 2, there's 5, but this season there's 6, because you have all the Chapter 2 Season 2 POIs, as well as Catty Corner there, so 6 total boss POIs, which is really nice, because it spreads people out, Some people might want to get the minigun, some people might want to get the Scar and the Grappler, some people might want to get the Charge Shotgun, there's a lot of variety to where you can land, One of the big problems with the last few, I'd say, chapters, honestly, not Chapter 4 really, because they didn't really have boss POIs to say, but Chapter 5 definitely had this problem where there just wasn't enough spots that were as good as the boss POIs. If you didn't land at a boss POI, you were at a severe disadvantage, because not only did they have mythic weapons there, they also had medallions last chapter, which in the first season wasn't too big of a problem, because if you really wanted them to work well, you needed all 5, so it was kind of a challenge to get that. But in later seasons, you could just get one and be at a super advantage, because they gave you a different power up, basically. So landing at a boss POI was a very unfair advantage, and there wasn't a lot of them. There was 3, 4 maybe boss POIs. So when you're contesting a boss POI, there's gonna be, one, a lot of people there, and 2, it's gonna be very condensed. It's kind of like how Tilted was back in early Chapter 1, where half the lobby land Tilted and nowhere else. So you just end up having dead games because everyone's at Tilted, and you decide to land somewhere else. The Battle Pass this season. This Battle Pass is decent. I wouldn't say I'd like it. I definitely think the OG Season OG Battle Pass was better than this one. The only skin I really see myself going back to is Meowdis, and even then, I don't know. I don't see myself using him that much. One Ball. I know a lot of people like One Ball for some reason, but me, I don't know. He just kind of feels cheap. I feel 8 Ball just looks a lot better than him. Undercover Sky is alright. I definitely prefer the original Sky better. It's a unique idea, but it's not for me, Chaos Director, it's an alright skin, I don't think I would have personally put it in this Battle Pass, but I'm not mad it's in the Battle Pass. I just don't think I would have personally put it in there, And then we have Dynamo TNT, I believe is her name, which, I'm gonna be honest, in my opinion, is just a worse version of TNT, and I think original TNT is so much better. Just one thing I feel this Battle Pass has is that all the outfits feel cheap, kind of, They just aren't that high quality looking, in my opinion. Especially One Ball. I think One Ball looks really cheap, especially compared to 10 Ball, which is the item shop counterpart to him. She looks so much more, I don't know how to say it, more high quality, Which I guess that makes sense because she's an item shop skin and they want more people to buy her, but you know what I'm saying. One Ball just looks cheap compared to her. And 8 Ball, which is kind of weird because 8 Ball's a 5-year-old skin now. It's bro, come on, we could do better than that. We also saw kicks in the Battle Pass, which, I'm gonna be honest, I think kicks are stupid, but I do think there's one benefit to them, and it's that I could put shoes on all the skins that don't have shoes, which is really nice because I don't like when skins don't have shoes, But other than that, I don't really see a purpose to kicks. They kind of just feel an easy way to make money, and they basically have the same effect a backbling does, but you actually see a backbling most of the time, right? Kicks, you have to be looking down at the ground at all times in order to see them for a good amount of time, And it just doesn't work that well, especially when you're charging 1,000 V-Bucks for one pair in the shop. Bro, come on, they should not be that expensive. They should be 500 max, and the fact that all of them are just collabs basically, except for 2 kicks, I believe. There's the shark ones and the Meowscles one that came out recently. Those are the only 2 non-collab ones, which is kind of weird. I believe it's the only cosmetic type that is mostly collabs. Outside, I guess, Lego kits, but those are not really cosmetics. Outside of Lego kits, they're the only cosmetic that's mainly collabs. I don't know, this doesn't feel right, And finally, the one thing that probably made this season the most controversial season. I wouldn't say most controversial. We had Chapter 5 Season 3 this year, but you know what I'm saying. A pretty controversial season. Them replacing a lot of the boss POIs with rappers, okay? So I know A lot of people didn't like this because how dare you ruin my OG Chapter 2 Season 2? Why isn't Midas here? Even though that wouldn't really make sense when you had Meowtis at the yacht. So I don't really know how that would work. But you know, whatever. We'll just ignore that. Why isn't Midas at the agency? Why isn't Brutus at the grotto? And why isn't Sky the shark, you know? And it's like, I get it, sort of. But like, at the end of the day, the gameplay is nearly identical. The only one you could argue that is different is the shark, because the Scar and the Grappler have like special effects now, but it doesn't really change it that much in my opinion. You know, I think the Scar is actually like really good with the speed boost effect. I don't think it's as good because I believe the headshot damage is like lower than the original Mythic Scar, but other than that, like it's really good. It's really good. And the Ice Grappler, I like the Icy Grappler, like the original Icy Grappler, and I think this one is pretty good. I don't think it has like the same reach. I believe the original Icy Grapple has like the reach of like the glider gun, like Jules' glider gun. But this one just has like the reach of a normal grappler, which kind of makes it feel awkward to use a little bit sometimes. I do think I'd still take it over like a normal grappler, but you know, it's just not as good as what it could have been, you know? I honestly would have preferred if they just made like a glider gun. Maybe they could have swapped the effects of the Scar and the grappler. Maybe they could have made like the Scar shoot like bullets that hit the person and give them Icy Feet. I feel like that could have been cool. And then Spicy Grappler, you know, that would have been more unique in my opinion. But you know, we're too late now. We can't really change that, you know? The agency, or the dog pound, I guess it's called now, because Snoop Dogg's there, doesn't really feel much different. I'm gonna be honest. It feels basically the exact same. Like, it's literally just the agency with Snoop Dogg's logo on the front. And like, I guess there's a bridge there too with like cars on it, but it's basically the same. Like, let's be real. The drum gun is really good, and it's kind of crazy how it's like the best mythic drum gun that we have in the game right now, because this one is the exact same stats as Midas' drum gun, except I believe the headshot damage is a little bit lower. And then the other mythic drum guns we have with Jules' drum gun and Shadow Midas drum gun are just notoriously mid weapons. The Chapter 5 Midas drum gun, it's a Chapter 5 weapon. It's not going to be that good. And then the Midas drum gun, the original one, which I believe is in Reload right now. I don't know if they got rid of it in Reload, but it might still be in Reload. It has the exact same stats as Jules' drum gun, you know? So it's just not as good. But the Snoop Dogg drum gun is basically like the OG Midas drum gun, you know? It's really freaking good, you know? It's chef's kiss, you know? And then Eminem's minigun, alright? I think this is one thing that people just like kind of get, like it's cool. Like, even if they don't like the season, pretty cool weapon, you know? Good idea, good concept, Epic Games. You did something good. So, you know, I think it's really cool. Taking like Rap God lyrics and just making them play while you're shooting the minigun is pretty cool. I do kind of find it a little bit annoying how it doesn't like last like the whole time, like the whole part, like the whole fast part, like it cools down and like the fast part is not done rapping it. It's just a little nitpick, but you know, if I gotta find something to complain about it, that's what I'd probably complain about it for. But other than that, I think the Rap God minigun is really good. I think it's a really nice addition, you know? And overall, I don't think the rappers hurt the season in any way, shape, or form, in my opinion. Now, one thing I do have to say is that I do find it kind of weird how there are just some weapons in the loophole right now that were just never in Chapter 2 in the first place. Like, I believe, I don't know if it's still in the game, but the jetpack was in this season for a little bit, and it has never been in Chapter 2. Like, at least with some weapons that they've added, like, they were in, like, the later seasons of Chapter 2, which aren't what we're currently going over, but whatever, you know, it's fine. But like stuff like the jetpack, never in Chapter 2. The normal drum gun was never in Chapter 2. Like the heavy shotgun was never in Chapter 2. Like these things were never in Chapter 2 and they brought them back. I just find it kind of weird because there are so many weapons that were in Chapter 2 that you could have brought back instead of those, but whatever. I kind of get the drum gun because you have the mythic drum gun, and I don't know why the drum gun was just never in Chapter 2, Season 2, 3, or 4 in the first place. But, you know, well, we can get past that. You know, it's whatever. It's not the biggest deal, but you know, it's just something I thought I'd nitpick a little bit about. And then we have the TAC AR, which was in Chapter 2 for like one season. Not the seasons that we're going over, but you know, whatever. The TAC AR this season is like, it might be the best AR in the game, in my opinion. Now it's weird, because this is the old OG TAC AR. This is like, without the scope. But what they did with it is, they took the scope off, but they forgot to like remove all the stuff that a scoped weapon has when you're scoping in, except for the scope. Like, got rid of the scope. But it has no bloom, or should I say, always has first shot accuracy. I believe it's still, I don't actually, I'm gonna get a little bit mixed up. But, you know, it has first shot accuracy all the time. The recoil is pretty low, and like, especially with the hit scan weapon now, because the last version of the TAC AR was not hit scan, it was bullet drop. The hit scan version with this no bloom, it is insane, bro. It is crazy. It is so busted, you know? Might be the best AR in the game. Might even be better than Mythic Scar, you know? It's insane, bro. It's actually crazy. Alright, if you guys enjoyed that video, consider leaving a like and subscribing and using code WATSOG in the Fortnite item shop. Also remember, at 2,000 subscribers, I'm going to be ranking every single Fortnite skin. So make sure to subscribe. Alright, see you in the next one. Later.